So your actions, behaviors, emotions, reactions, everything that comes after a certain thought, that thought that is being generated by the beliefs already set in your subconscious mind. I'll take the same example. If you feel you're not worthy, why do you feel that way? You feel that way, let's say, because you have had experiences up until now where you have felt worthless. And that I'm not talking about in relationships. Worthlessness can be felt due to a lot of experiences. It could have been at your workplace. Your work was not seen as good enough. It could have been in a relationship. It could have been uh, in school. The people who are a cool gang did not see you as someone who's good enough for them. It could be at home. Maybe one sibling got a better treatment and you did not, and they made you feel worthless. So, with these kind of experiences throughout our life, our subconscious mind gets impressed with the same thought again and again and again, that I am worthless. People don't find me charming enough, funny enough, good enough, caring enough for me to become a part of their life for a long, long time, or for me to become someone that they really consider as a beautiful part of their lives. They want to care for me, they want to be thoughtful towards me, they want to be considerate towards me. So now, because you have that belief, that thought will keep generating in the upcoming days, weeks, whenever you face that kind of situation where you can feel worthless, where maybe the other person's intention was not really to avoid you, ignore you. Maybe they were having a bad day themselves. But even in those kind of situations that you should not be taking personally, because you have felt that throughout your life, you will take it personally. And again, that belief will generate the similar kind of thoughts. Now, the stimulus is your thought. Now, that thought will generate a feeling, which is your response, the way your body is responding. You might feel low, you might feel shameful, you might feel disappointed, you might feel not good enough. And now your body craves those thoughts even more. Once your body has responded, it's going to think that thought again and again and again. So see how your belief is generating the thought, generating the feeling. Body is craving more of that thought, okay? And you're feeding more of that belief. This is I like to call it the hamster wheel, okay? In which we get stuck a lot throughout our lives. What is the way out of this hamster wheel? Awakening our consciousness. Unless you confront that thought, fine, you have a belief. Our main part that we need to change and target is that thought. Okay? If you don't confront that thought and replace it with a new thought, and then really put in a lot of repetition and discipline in the upcoming weeks and months to ensure that the belief behind that thought slowly starts fading away. Okay? You're feeding your mind new thoughts to replace that belief. Unless you confront that thought, that belief will not get replaced. Okay? And then you will be, unfortunately, stuck in this hamster wheel. Now, when your body and mind is used to a certain kind of environment, okay? See, the funny part here is, this is something I used to always wonder myself. When you are in an unhealthy environment, that can be a relationship, that can be your parental home, when you are in a negative and toxic environment, okay, understand this thing, that whatever you feed your body and mind a lot, I'm talking in terms of the people you surround yourself with, the kind of behaviors you surround yourself with, okay, your body will get used to it. Now, at a conscious level, all human beings, okay, this is universal. We all are aware, we know we should not stay, or we should not be in a toxic, unhealthy, or negative environment. We know this, right? But still, because that experience is familiar to your mind, it has been for a long time, okay? If it's been months and months, and especially years and years that you have been in that environment, it is still the comfort zone for your body and mind. So even though you know this is somewhere I should not be, this is somewhere no human being should be, you will still be pulled into those feelings into that environment because it's comforting to your mind and body for the simple reason that it's familiar with it. And whatever is familiar to your mind and body, it's going to always try to bring you back to that kind of environment. It's going to provide you some kind of relaxation and peace. The contradiction here is that environment is chaotic, but your mind is finding some kind of peace in it because it's familiar. This is also a part of resistance. When you want to shift from your old self to your new self, this gap in between where you're doing the work, when you're trying to change your habits, when you're trying to confront your thoughts, it's a lot of healing work, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of being aware and being conscious on a moment-to-moment basis, day-to-day basis. You are going to face a lot of resistance. Now, resistance, I really want you to understand that it will arrive as a guest in your manifestation process in a lot of different ways. There is no single way resistance will show up. It will always have a different kind of mask on. And the problem with people who are getting into conscious manifestation or increasing their consciousness and trying to be more aware or trying to heal themselves or trying to transform themselves and their life, you can give different kind of titles and labels to these things, but ultimately what we are teaching is the same thing. Resistance can show up in a form of procrastination. Okay, it might make you altogether just stop your discipline work, stop doing your techniques work, make you stop thinking about your desire as well. Because a lot of times when your desire is too big in your eyes, it might have a lot of fears and doubts around it, which again trigger that resistance to make you feel and think, okay, that this is too good for me. I get scared even thinking about it. Let me not think about this. So in this situation, it's not even allowing you to think about your desire. And we know that if you want to have your desire in your reality, you need to think about it. Okay, you need to do the work around it, the practice around it, the repetition around it. The second way resistance can show up is a bit better than you not wanting to think about it at all. It's something you feel in your stomach and in your chest when you're trying to affirm a new story, whether it's through visualization, in a conversation. And for me personally, it comes the most when I'm doing affirmations. I can visualize well without resistance. I can do inner conversations. But the moment I start affirming, that resistance shows up. What's a third way that resistance can show up in? It will remind you of your past experiences around that same area. It will make you feel not good enough. It will kind of laugh at you. Okay, and this is all happening in your head. Like, do you think this can really happen? This is so huge. It doesn't just happen for people, you know? You won't be able to do this. Why are you wasting your time? So this third form can be this inner voice that is kind of bringing you down because you don't have that kind of confidence and trust, at least in that moment, in yourself. And don't worry, all that can be built up. The fourth way which resistance can show up in, so you do the work for some time, you try to redirect your thoughts, and then your body inevitably tries to look for movement, tries to look for evidence, tries to look for signs. You know, I've been doing this, I've been affirming for 5 days. Where's the movement? I don't see any changes. Oh, let me just go back to my old patterns. Your resistance is pulling you back into your old patterns because that is something it's comfortable with. Okay. These are really sneaky ways in which your resistance will stop you from replacing those beliefs, those old unfavorable beliefs with new beliefs that will actually bring in that kind of transformation. And these are the main points. All these points I mentioned, I just mentioned 4 ways which came into my mind. But resistance can show up in so many different kind of ways. Just think about it this way. Anything that is happening physically, mentally, emotionally, that is trying to keep you away from persisting in your new story is resistance, nothing else. If during that moment you show patience and you push through, then you will learn how to push through. So each time it happens in the upcoming days, you will push through. Eventually, the resistance will start decreasing and fading away. And that's when your transformation journey actually starts.